Hello, everybody. Today, I'm actually coming to you from the studio, yes, for my Lead What You Live podcast with me, Tina Lizzio. And I came here actually today to shoot some different content, do some video editing, and some other creative projects. And in the process, I decided to pause and say, you know what? Today, I'm going to do a podcast with you, Ben Castro. You're going to meet Ben Castro, one of the owners of Podcast Junkeez, Junkeez in Boca Raton, Florida, where I have had the pleasure for the past year to come down and use the studio and the talented skills of Ben and others for my podcast production. It's been amazing. And so Ben is so multi-talented with amazing, high vibing, positive energy that I said, you know, what a unique individual who's like, I hate to say it, he's like half my age. I could be his mother. And he is so already wise beyond his years. And so I want to have a conversation to bring to you today, Ben Castro, about how he leads. He is leading what he lives. He is also a drummer for several bands, including The Pleasures. And so we're going to talk about how the tie-in with the musical creativity and talent, along with digital video editing and marketing and all these things in the studio. It's a fantastic studio here. And so many people, the crop up of podcasts has been incredible over the last number of years. Many people, like myself, are starting podcasts. And so there is a need, there is a demand for additional studio space. Of course, with technology now, you can create your own home podcast studios, but certainly getting the support of others where it's already set up, done for you, is in demand. And what a joy and a pleasure it is to have that. I'm dating myself. I struggle with the advancements in technology and AI that is here to stay and ever evolving. And for all its incredible benefits, I still feel like I'm a dinosaur in learning all these things. Very old school, didn't have cell phones when I was in high school, and all the technology that my 3 grown children, college-age children, have today, have benefited from. So without going any further, I want to introduce Ben Castro, again, one of the owners of Podcast Junkeez. And Ben, thank you for being such a good sport and being willing to spontaneously have a conversation with me on Lead What You Live.
Tina, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've seen the guests that come in here. I've seen the amazing leaders that you have, and I'm just kind of honored that you asked me, and it was spontaneous, and I'm all about spontaneism. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. So thank you for letting me be on Lead What You Live.
Yes. Thank you so much. I always say, I didn't get to where I am in life without the support of others. So for all that I have ever, done and accomplished, it was always with the support of others. Their time, their energy, their knowledge, wisdom, resources, cannot be overstated. So I am so grateful to all of you out there who know me well, family and friends and colleagues and partners of all kind, past and present, for your support is huge. We don't do this life alone as human beings. We thrive in relationship and connection with others. So as a life strategist, I focus on the trifecta, finding that balance in the trifecta of health, wealth, and our relationships, with really an emphasis on our relationships, as starting with the relationship to ourself. And the relationship with ourselves certainly is necessary in how we view our health, our desire for wellness and longevity, and in wealth creation, generating what kind of life experience do we want to have? What are the quality of our relationships that support our health and in creating wealth? So with that, in this creation of Lead What You Live podcast, with the intention of bringing people who do in fact lead what they live, they inspire, they motivate others to do what they are living, right? Lead what they are living. And so Ben is one of those people. He is one of those people, not even yet 30 years old, both through his music, but also every day he's seeing different people like myself come in as podcast interviewers, creating content and seeing all the different people that they bring in, all the different leaders in their field that they bring in to interview, and all the varied type of content that's available out there. So Ben, tell us what inspired you to get into the podcast business.
Well, again, thank you so much, Tina. I do want to say, I mean, my inspiration, I think, came from just the love of people. I do enjoy stories, you know. I like just learning about people. I actually started, I moved down here. I got a job at a Marriott, and I worked as a bellman and a valet. And there were so many people coming in and out. I was meeting so many different faces, and all these different experiences, right? It gave me an inspiration. I was like, oh my gosh, so many people have stories, everyone. And then the similarities of people, right? Started also being like, oh man, wow, this person is very similar to this person, but they were born in here, and I'm just trying to connect everything. So, passed down a couple years go by, and, things happen, and I just got an opportunity, and someone that at that hotel remembered me and was like, I have a great idea. I want you to try and see if this is something that you would like to do. And so I came in and I started doing, working as a studio director. Again, not knowing anything about podcast. It was more the energy and the connection with people that I had, that I didn't even realize that actually is something a lot of people are missing, to be able to have someone to push them, right? To get to that extra, they have it in them, but they don't believe in it. And to be able to be the person from the outside and look and be like, no, you have something there, right? You can make this happen. And that's kind of where that spark happened at that first studio. I realized that my connection and my hospitality, but also just the intent to listen to someone and listen to what they had to say, gave me the inspiration. I was like, oh man, let me be intent with my listening. Let me say, ask the questions that they're like, oh, you're listening to me. Yes, I am. I want to know more. I want to give me that. And then they're like, wait, you're listening to me. So if one person's listening to me, why couldn't thousands? Why couldn't hundreds of thousands, right? So when I kind of started, it gave me that push to just keep connecting people, keep giving them that little oomph, because at the end of the day, we all do need a little bit of a push, so. We all need a little push.
On the regular. I have a desire to inspire. That's my thing. Desire to inspire. I had a license plate that was INSPYR. A desire to inspire, because I believe that inspiration is the greatest motivation. It's the greatest motivator. When you feel inspired, or when you get inspired by somebody else and seeing how they're being, or what they're doing, what they're up to, what they're creating, what they're bringing out in the world, that is the greatest motivator. You want to have a better body, and then you find information from those who are really consistent in taking care of their body, and then you get inspired by others, by their example. When you see other people that are working so hard and putting in that consistency of effort and discipline. I'm so inspired by people and their discipline and focus and consistency of effort, and how it's just working smarter, not harder. And you go out there, you commit to something. You commit to something with consistency, you will be successful at it. Things don't happen overnight. And Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. So going out there and seeing other people, I remember watching people from 10 years ago, and then now they're 10x, 100xing their business because every day with consistency, I'm plugging Grant Cardone and his 10x among other people. But seriously, I'm so, even through COVID, really impressed by a lot of individuals out there in their fields with consistency, out there with the marketing and the message, not letting anything stop them. Unstoppable. And that's super inspiring to me in sort of, moving forward with what I want to create and generate, and knowing that it's about always about commitment over feelings. Every day, you're not always going to feel positive. People always say, oh, you're so positive. You have such positive energy. And I say, yes, thank you. That is my aim, is to be positive. At the same time, I don't always feel positive. What I do feel and experience is optimism. I am optimistic that because I know this too shall pass, the only thing that's constant in life is change. And so, ultimately, tomorrow, if today wasn't great, tomorrow has the possibility of a better day. So I may not always feel positive, but I am optimistic. And my aim is to bring forth positive energy in a world where people often feel beaten down and just overwhelmed and stressed and anxious just by life and just burdened by technology and how fast we're going and growing, that I like to bring forth that positive energy. Unfortunately, many people are out there, they seek to be offended in their listening. It's just a come from. People listen from, do I like or not like what I'm hearing? Do I agree or disagree with it? Should I be offended by this? Is there something wrong with this? And so there's so much messaging out there, right? With all of our social media platforms, all that media messaging, the podcast. And so oftentimes that's people's listening. They'll be more inclined to make a comment if they disagree instead of that affirmation or something positive, that they got from the messaging. So Ben is somebody who with consistency shows up with a positive energy. I've seen him at 8 o'clock in the morning. I've seen him at 6 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday going into the weekend where he's got a full weekend ahead and he's going to be performing as a drummer, pursuing a passion there with his musical talent. But he steps up. He's there for each guest. Boom, 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 on the hour, jam-packed days, listening, active listening, and bringing forth the positive energy. So I must acknowledge you for that. And so how do you stay positive? What do you say about positivity? And do you always feel it, or are sometimes you faking it?
Well, I love that answer, that question that you just asked me, because it's something that I've been asked multiple times. Everyone comes in there and say, how do you stay so positive? Why is that? And I genuinely do feel a positive energy. You talked about consistency, and there's the whole thing of me saying, okay, I want to be consistent. I have not a reputation, but this is who I am. And I want you to remember that every single time that you have an interaction with me, it's a great time. Like, it's me saying, I want to leave a legacy, just like how it's lead what you live. I think, growing up, my parents definitely instilled on me that, not a reputation, but you hold yourself accountable to anything that you do. And I think that that's something that, growing up, you might lose it, or you might, instead of losing it, you choose who can get your energy, right? So as I've
attention,
exactly. So as I've kind of grown up, I would say my positivity hasn't changed from me. I think it's just who is able to receive my positive. I'm being a little bit more selective on
discerning.
Exactly.
You're being discerning.
The time and knowing that it does take a lot. There are days that if I've been talking all day or I've been so energized, I'll go home I won't say a word. I'll sit and I'll watch a movie. I'll decompress. But I think that's really important, is something that, I've learned over the time, is like to ground yourself. I don't know if you are familiar with grounding yourself, but there's times.
Yes. I live on the ocean, walk in the sand. Yes.
Exactly. There's times where I say, and Tina, you might even have had someone on here where they talked about breathing and how important your breath is, right? And there's times where you might get overwhelmed, the positivity might be going away, and I sit down and I say, take 3 minutes and just breathe. You can take the 3 minutes, take those deep inhales, deep exhales, also pausing those inhales, pause those deep, and it honestly helps me kind of reset, helps me kind of say, okay, hey man, you got a couple more hours. You're going here and now you got to go to band practice. Okay. I don't really have the time to shift, There's a lot of times that there's like hey, all right, we're in business mode, then you got to go to, so I use my drives. Like when I drive in, I always either music, it's like a meditation, just grounding yourself is something that I think I've learned to kind of keep that positivity going, for sure.
Yeah, and I really like that you said that it's about paying attention and being discerning as to who you give that positive energy and attention to, because I am absolutely an extrovert. I love people. I'm a Gemini. For those of you, I have a birthday next week. The astrologers out there, those who are into astrology, but I really am big on communication, the interpersonal communication skills that are so important in building a foundation for relationships and connections. And I get energized. I get energized engaging with people, learning about and from others, enjoying my time with people. And so I do actually get energy. I don't get drained by them unless I am giving my time and energy and attention to the wrong people. And that can really go the other direction and just, really drain my energy. And so I think also the ability to stay centered, because life is coming fast at us and there's so many things that are uncertain and unpredictable. So we go along, and being able to stay in the center of ourselves. When I say stay in the center of yourself, because I actually have come to believe, for men and women of any age, one of the most important skills to have, I'm going to call it a skill, an awareness of being able to come back to center quickly. When we get knocked off, things happen, unexpected, unexpected, we get knocked off, we go into reaction mode instead of responding. And oftentimes there are consequences to our reactions sometimes. We don't get the desired outcome that we're looking for, would have hoped for, because we react to conflict. We get triggered by things. That word trigger, you get triggered, provoked by things, and then we're reacting and we get knocked off center. So how quickly can we stay in the center of ourselves? And so what can you say about that? I mean, you're a younger generation.
Well, you've made, again, I think what I've kind of learned is, all these things that you're speaking on is people have to go through them and learn, right? They have to experience it. That's where wisdom comes from, right? When you speak on wisdom and knowing the difference between, being immature or trying you got to go through and have these, experiences. Now, kind of going back to keeping us centered, you got to find something you love to do. Music is a center for me. I know that even though I don't have that shift, I can go and play music and close my eyes, and every person, every client, anybody that anything, it goes away, and I'm here listening to the sound.
Brings you back to center.
I'm centered. I think more people need to appreciate the little things that are happening in life. And everything is going, I know it's so cliche, but like look outside at 5 or 6 p.m. and look at the sky and see all the different colors of blue. Right there is showing you, like, that's where we've gotten all of our blue from. You look up there and you're, oh my gosh, it's changing. There's so many little details that our life, you know, I think.
By the way, you don't have to be on like psychedelic mushrooms or anything to choose this, to choose to go outside and look at the sky and really appreciate nature and its beauty and
100%.
Find peace in that when we don't feel peaceful. So I really like that you said that. I'm big into music. I love all types of music. And music is what? You have that energy, frequency, vibration.
And music is
music.
Thing that you don't even have to know a language. Like, you can play a song and
it doesn't matter. It can be in English and anybody
Spanish, anything
can feel it.
Yeah. It's one thing that you could go
languages.
You could go to South Africa. You could go to Korea. You could play a song and people will resonate with it. Isn't that incredible?
That's why EDM is so popular too, right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes, you know, even if there are no lyrics, it's the vibration, that energy, frequency, vibration. You're in that vortex. It's like incredible. It's incredible.
And it can, and really, I mean, there's been times where a song can take you somewhere. You again, completely, you can close your eyes. Goosebumps
can speak for you.
Yeah, memories. It can bring back memories. I have a song that anytime I hear it, I think of my grandma. There's things that, you know, could be bad memories too, but there are also things you got to think. You overcame that, whatever, you know, that song that represented whatever. Think about it like that. Like, oh, it brought me back to when I was little. But you also think of all the things that you did to overcome it and where you are right now.
I think the balance, the combination of the like a silent meditation, giving yourself some quiet time, even if it's 10 minutes a day. And then at the same time, instead of getting on the phone, let's say in your car, if not, or while you're just at home, you're cooking dinner, you're doing the dishes, you're in the shower, you're getting ready, putting on music. You know, instead of, you know, putting on a song or two that sort of suits your mood, or if you want to shift your mood, it's like great for shifting your mood. It's like, oh, wow, I'm really mad or sad or whatever.
Or when you're going to work out, you want something that pumps you up. And it's crazy how it can just shift a little detail. And then, you know, throughout the day, it just changes. It's like a snowball effect, right?
Yes. I'm so glad you're emphasizing. And music is a form of therapy. Just like art, it is an art form, and there is an art therapy. So both being silent and also bringing in the music is great. And there's a lot of guided meditations with the music. I know that you can actually pull up on things like YouTube 528 hertz, which is the frequency of love. And you can literally sit there and change your own internal state by listening to the frequency, because we are energetic beings. So this is huge, what you're emphasizing about music, its impact for you and what others can do. And oh, by the way, if you don't have 3 minutes to do deep breathing, 1 long inhale and 1 long, slow exhale is a game changer. If you don't even have time for that, you're in your car, you get out of the car, have arrived somewhere, or it's like go time, just 1 long deep inhale and 1 long slow exhale can be a huge game changer. In terms of podcasting, okay, so what are the benefits of podcasting? And like, what have you learned? What have you noticed? Are there trends? What type of podcasts are popping up? Are they individuals that are just doing sort of monologue? Are most of them doing interview style? Are they a couple people, 2 or more, coming together and bantering about something? Are they people in their professions who are wanting to, bring forth and educate, or all of the above? Like, what are sort of the trends in podcasting?
Well, I gotta be completely honest with you, Tina. Everyone that comes in here, everyone has a story. Everyone wants to tell their story in any way. I mean, the amount of people that come in here and have all these ideas, but they aren't willing to put in the work. That's the thing is, podcasting is, there's a lot of movement with podcast. But, we spoke earlier about consistency, right? And, there's a kind of a direct line for podcasting where if you're consistent and you have passion, right? When you're consistent and you have passion, that is going to, no matter what, lead to success. Because people can hear that.
They can feel it.
They can feel it.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about vibrations. Energy can be from our voices.
Transformed, transmuted,
right?
transferred.
So in my eyes, I think anyone can podcast. I think you just you have to be consistent with it. And all of that stuff, the whole things with the trends and the TikTok dances and all this stuff, that's all entertainment, right? I mean, all this social media is entertainment, right? But I think what really can defer you is putting out good content that people will resonate with, right? They'll be able to say, "Oh my gosh, that happened to me. That happened to me," or "Oh my gosh, like I didn't even know this." Like things like those things. Being behind the scene, right? Being able to see things, right? There are so many golden, people have so many golden clips, I guess you could say. Golden nuggets, right? And so what we try to do is really highlight that, when you're speaking, writing the notes down so I could be like, hey, this was really cool. But the biggest thing is being consistent and dropping those. I'll make them, hey, it's here, it's done. But the thing is, it's taking that person to say, okay, it's very easy. I made it easy for you. You take it and you put it out there. That's the thing. But the problem, and I struggle with this too, is it's getting out there. It's taking the step to put it out there. So Tina, every time you come in here, I'm so proud of you. You come in here and you show up and you say, I'm making a new interview. I'm getting another person. You love it. You enjoy it. And that's why
Yes.
I'm passionate towards you. I'm like, Tina, you got to just do this. You're so good at this.
If all I would do is interview people because I love people and I love to evoke from them their knowledge and hear about their experiences and the wisdom that comes from it and what they can impart onto others and have their stories be heard, and be told. I love it. It's like my favorite thing is to interview people and to host.
And that's where that passion comes.
I am very passionate about that.
And that's
I'm
so
passionate
important
about that. And so, yeah, I have many different interests and I'm involved in different things. A background, working in the securities industry and mortgage financing and real estate and, crypto trading. I mean, it's like there are so many different things, but I really do love people. I love making a positive difference and impact. I believe in life strategy, it supports if you have someone that can act as a creative and critical thinking partner with you and go on a discovery and sort of look at the facts. What are the facts about your current situation? And how do you feel about those facts? How do you feel about what's true and what's so? And then how did you get here? Like, how did you get to where you are such that these are the facts? And then finally, where do you want to go? What is the next, fruit of your tree that you're what are you looking to create? What is the desired outcome in those different areas? What's the next level for you in health, wealth, and your relationships, your critical relationships, the ones that you're currently in? How to elevate those relationships and how to call in and attract new relationships, personal, intimate, professional relationships. So as having a strategy, that's like my top strength is strategy and being and vision, seeing the vision, along with communication and being able to relate to people and make an impact by way of inspiration, is knowing that if you can see the path and you have someone supporting you with a plan and a strategy, and you get that inspiration and motivation to, thank you, Ben, execute with discipline and consistency, holding yourself accountable first, but also having someone hold you accountable. It's super, super supportive. So yeah, that's what I got there. But Ben, thank you so much. People know that I am Life Strategy, and don't hesitate to find me at tina.lizzio on Instagram. DM me to have a call with me to see how I might support you in a life strategy on health, wealth, and relationships, and talk further so I can hear what you are up to. I love meeting new people and seeing how I can support you. So as you, Ben, have supported me, as you said. So this is not goodbye. This is, of course, to be continued. Thank you for being a good sport and being spontaneous to pop on here. So Ben, show yourself. You are on the other side. So you are there with all the wires and cameras and everything else.
Doing everything behind the scenes.
table of four that are possible here. So sometimes I have guests in person. Sometimes they are on Zoom because they're not here in South Florida where I am here and able to come to the studio. And so both also work well. If you are a leader out there in your field and have a big message to share with others, I would love to talk to you and about being on my Lead What You Live podcast. So connect with me. It is ciao for now.